Alright, we're back for another Dokkan Battle video, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the Carnival LR Gammas banner. Of course, they are one of the banners that we get for part 2 of the 9th year anniversary. I think that should be releasing around the mid of July, alongside, obviously, the Beast Gohan's banner. Now, compared to Beast Gohan's banner, no, they don't have as much value, but if you're just looking at their banner standalone, just looking at the LR Gammas, there is some value here. I do really like LR Gammas as a unit. I think they're really good. For the first couple turns, they may struggle just a bit, but between their support, all the stats they get on Super, all the additionals they're going to be doing, the damage reduction that they have, and then also the standby, yeah, they're pretty good. And then obviously you got Future Gohan down here. He's still really good. These two Gokus right here, so I kind of just lumped them in the same category because, they're stacking guard units. This guy has a revive, so that's pretty good, but still, they're both kind of serving the same purpose. These guys can still be useful, but of course, content's hitting very hard now. So for the first couple turns, even with their guard, they might struggle just a little, but they're still good. I think as long as you maybe take them in a difficult event type advantage, they're going to be absolutely fine. And then, of course, we got Bulma, still amazing. Merge Zamasu, good, but he's going to struggle. I mean, he doesn't link with the other LR Merge Zamasu, and that's the best team that this guy has. So, I mean, he's going to have his issues, but he's still a decent unit. Just make sure you get your super off with him, and then defensively, he should be decent. I don't know about tanking supers, but normals should be absolutely fine. Maybe just like the Carnival LR Goku's over here, just make sure he has type advantage. And then we got LR Rose. I really like this guy. He might have a little bit of issues because he's lacking some defensive mechanics, but his defensive stats can get very high. And then you got the Trunks down here, and then the God Goku, both of which are really good. They carry over defense for multiple turns and have damage reduction. And then there's this Vegeta. This guy kind of sucks, but usually the SSRs, like at the bottom of these Legendary Summon or Carnival banners, whatever, usually they just completely suck, but these two units are actually really good, and I do want to talk about them a little later in the video. So, between the Gammas, Future Gohan, some pretty good options with both the Carnival LR Gokus, Bulma, who's amazing, and then these two LRs. You got some good options on the LR Gammas banner, right? Of course, you do have Worldwide Download Celebration releasing right after Anniversary, which may have a bit of a better banner than something like this, but, I mean, still, it goes without saying, this is a good banner, right? So I'd understand if you'd want to summon for it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the specifics of some of these units. So like I said, Gamma 1 and 2, good support, a lot of additionals, damage reduction, good super attack effects, and then they got the standby. So they're still a support. They're a monster in terms of their stats. 250% on a Dokkan Fest LR is really good, and their super attack effects are still really good. Also, they're supporting, and their super attack effect, and they're supporting here. And they still got the additionals. Now they got crits and additionals, and then you're getting more crits, more additionals down here. It's just, dude, Gammas are good. You might struggle with them for the first couple turns, but once you get this standby, I'm telling you, they're going to be fine. What's the condition for the standby? Can be activated when HP is 70% or less, and you got to do 3 attacks. So this isn't going to be that difficult because they got so many built-in additionals, but yeah, you do have to be below 70% HP, which might be kind of tricky. So, I guess that's just something you're going to want to keep in mind with them. But then once you go into Gamma 1, dude, we're talking like 80% damage reduction. Their stats are still really good, like 150% here, 150% here. They also get 50% here. They got the support, which I'm pretty sure does apply to themselves. Also, you got crits down here, which is going to make their damage look even crazier. And more damage reduction. Like I said, they can get up to 80% damage reduction. And instead of supporting defense for 1 turn, now they're supporting for 2 turns. So it's just, between everything, yeah, overall, they're a really good unit. I would say one of my main issues with them, other than them struggling defensively for the first couple turns, is their link set. Now, obviously, Android Assault, Red Ribbon Army, Hero of Justice, Signature Pose are not good links. So a lot of top-tier units they might not be able to link that well with. But still, I think between their support, even if you run them with a lot of other units that they're not linking that well with, you could still make it work. I mean, how important are these links? Android Assault definitely does matter. 20% defense. Yeah, and 10% defense there. Hero of Justice is just a little bit of attack, but, I mean, I guess that is still kind of important. So, yeah, you're missing like 30% defense. I would say that's really what's important with the links. Don't get me wrong, a little bit of extra attack is nice, but, I mean, their damage isn't going to be bad. All the additionals they've got, all the crits and everything. It's not as important to get damage from their links as it is to get more defense, right? But their categories, very different than their link set. This is just absolutely amazing. They've got a lot of good teams and a lot of weak teams. So, you know, full power, androids, joined forces, artificial life forms, worthy rivals, special pose, all-out struggle, connected hope, defenders of justice, and trusted will, all are massively getting benefited from this unit, and they're going to be supporting most of the units on there. They're supporting everyone on joined forces and defenders of justice, and then also they're supporting superheroes, which a good amount of units on all of these categories are also going to be on one of these 3 categories, so then they'll be getting the support as well. So just a good unit. Again, I think the Gammas are really good. Are they one of the best 9th year anniversary units? Probably not. Well, no, they're not. Beast Gohan is the best 9th year anniversary unit, but I don't really know exactly where they would rank, but I would say they're in top 10 best units in the game. Like, they're still really good. And then we got Future Gohan. Yeah, Future Gohan's still amazing. A lot of damage reduction, can build up to some pretty good stats, and, well, yeah. High damage reduction with good stats is just good, right? There's not really any getting around that. He's aged a little, sure, but still, he's good. If you're going to tell me he's bad, you're just wrong. He's still a useful unit. He's got the domain, he's got the active skill. Of course, the active skill gives him a little bit of extra key and defense, which I don't think this active skill is that difficult to get. Yeah, you just have to activate the domain. Yeah, which I don't know where the condition for the domain is, but, oh, I think it's here. So you get the domain for 5 turns, starting from the 5th turn. So just the 5th turn from start of battle. Then you can do the active skill, and you got the domain. Should be very easy to get, just a lot of extra damage. And like I said, overall, this guy's good. Might have his issues, you know, before you build up with him, but other than that, he's going to be fine. Yeah, right? You're going to be alright with him. We got the Carnival LR Gokus. I don't have them pulled up. Very simple with them. Like I said earlier, they're these guard stacking units. They're going to struggle for the first couple turns, and then with this guy, once you lose your guard after, I think, the 6th turn, yeah, defensively he's going to struggle, because this guy's only good when you take the guard into consideration. And then this guy, defensively, he's a little weak for the first couple turns before you stack with him. And then I think his guard is only when you're above, like, 58% HP. So before you revive, if you don't get the guard with this guy, he's going to take a lot of damage. But then, obviously, you could get the revive, and then, you know, you can just come back in the fight, and then you have guaranteed guard, I think. So this guy might be a little bit better than Kaiku. I don't know, that might be kind of a hot take. Again, they're relatively the same in terms of their ranking, but they have opportunities where they can get destroyed. That's really what I'm trying to say. But still, good units, just not on the same level as, you know, Gammas, Future Gohan, Bulma, or any of those units. Speaking of which, Bulma. So LR Bulma still absolutely amazing. Gets up to like 77% damage reduction, a support for all allies for 2 turns, orb changing, good super attack effects, crits built into her super attack effects as well, high stats, guard for the first 7 turns, and then also you take the damage reduction into consideration with the guard, and also the active skill, which, yeah, you get it from turn 7, so you gotta wait a little into the fight, but still, not really gonna be that tricky to get the active skill. It's good, and as long as you're in just a normal difficult event, you should get this within the final turn or 2. That'll obviously like finish the enemy or something like that. So Bulma, really good. I'm not going to go into detail about her. Most of you probably have her and know how crazy she is. We got LR Merge Zamasu. Where is he? Yeah, right here. So Merge Zamasu has his issues. I think the biggest one being that he doesn't link with the other corrupted Zamasu. So of course that's going to be a little bit of a detriment to this guy's performance, because he's got stuff like Big Bad Bosses and a lot of these other links that's giving him a lot of power with his links. So the fact that he's not linking with the other LR Zamasu does kind of suck, because that's his best team, right? That's the best setup with that guy. But still, it's not to say this guy's bad. You can still throw him on a full Goku Black and Zamasu team, or any team where he's just going to link well with everyone. And he's going to be good. Really good for slot 2 and 3. Just make sure you get the super. I would say that's the big thing, because then this guy does get some damage reduction as well, and more stats on super from his passive. So once all the stats start ramping up, and then also the damage reduction gets taken into consideration, this guy's defense can look pretty impressive, and with all the additionals, his damage can look pretty good as well. But, I mean, he's still going to get destroyed sometimes, right? I would say as long as you don't have this guy type disadvantage, he should be good. Type advantage, he's going to be fine with tank and normals, and he should take relatively low damage with like super attacks. But type neutral, he should still probably be able to tank normals, but super attacks are going to do a fair amount of damage. And then type disadvantage, this guy's just going to get blown away. By the way, I'm talking about like current difficult content, if you're taking this guy in that type of content, right? So just make sure you're a little careful where you bring him, and then he's going to be pretty impressive. He's on some weak teams as well, so if you're doing like Super Battle Road or Extreme Super Battle Road, he's going to have some pretty good use in those events. Just, again, slot 2 and 3, right? That's really all I gotta say. And then we got LR Goku Black. I don't have this guy pulled up, but he's good. Yeah, slot 2 and 3. Very simple with him. He does have this mechanic where he gets higher stats depending on how much ki you get. So that is probably going to be a priority with him, which can suck because then you're not going to have enough ki for other units. But maybe if you just bring like a Rainbow Orb Changer or 2 on the team with him, that should kind of cover him. But of course that does suck because, you know, you have to go out of your way to cater to this guy, which we don't really like that with units. But still, he can do a lot of damage, and defensively he can be pretty good. Then finally, we got the 2 units down here. So we got Rage Trunks. I'm a big fan of this guy. I love his design. So he gets 50% attack for 1 turn, and then 40% defense for 6 turns on his super attack effect, 180% the stats, 40% damage reduction just for free, and then an additional 180% the stats, the less HP remaining. And then he launches an additional super attack, and then gets attacks effective against all types when there's a Realm of Gods category enemy, and then gets another 10% damage reduction when the character performs the 6th attack. So full additionals, or a balance between additionals and dodge, however you really want to make that work. I don't really think it matters. I would say as long as you give this guy a little bit of additionals, just so he can get those super attacks quicker, so he can get this, because this is going to be pretty important. Once you've got 50% damage reduction and also as high stats, because this, and then if you get all the additionals, it's more of these, and then it starts to get pretty crazy. That's why this Trunks, I'm a big fan of his design. He's on some weak teams, and he's really good defensively, which is what a lot of these weak teams needed, just like a good defensive unit you could just kind of chuck on there. Obviously, like Time Travelers, Vegeta Family, Exploding Rage, Revenge, Battle of Wits, and Trusted Will. All of those are some of those categories. So, a good unit. I like him. He's got a lot of spots on teams, and he's really good defensively. So, there's really no going wrong with him. And then we got the Super Saiyan God Goku. I would say he's a little bit weaker overall, but still really good. Raises attack and defense by 50% for 3 turns. 120% the stats start of turn, 80% the stats on super, so definitely a slot 2 and 3 unit between the stats you're getting here and then the stats you're getting here. And then he's got a medium chance of doing an additional when HP is 59% or more, so you're going to be getting 2 of these, if not 3, from the Hidden Potential system. And then builds up 10% the stats with every attack performed up to 50%, and then 6% damage reduction up to 30% with every attack received. So it's going to be tricky to fully build up with him, but once you've got all of this taken into consideration, you know, the additionals, your fully built up damage reduction, your fully built up attack and defense stat, and then obviously you've got a little bit of attack and defense carried over. Yeah, he's going to look good. He's going to be on the level of this Trunks very quickly. It's just a little bit more difficult to get him to that position, right? But it's a Goku, so he's on a ton of categories. Most of these categories are pretty good, but if you need an extra unit, good defensive unit on one of these categories, this is your guy. So overall, I would say the Gamma's banner is good. Are there a couple weak units? Yeah, this Vegeta kind of sucks. These guys can be a little bit weak. You know, this Goku Black doesn't have good defensive mechanics, but still, you also have like Gammas, Bulma, Future Gohan. This guy's still really good. These guys can be very good. It's not like they're useless, and good banner units down here as well. So, a good banner overall. Do I recommend you summon on it? I would say do a few multis, a few rotations, whatever you want to do, but don't go that deep. I would say save most of your stones for Beast Gohan's banner, and then maybe just save for Worldwide, because I think those banners are probably going to be better than all of the banners we get for 9th year anniversary. But regardless, it's your stones. Do what you want with them. That has been the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you are going to be summoning on the LR Gamma's banner down in the comments, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.